Hello students. From the last lecture, we started with the new chapter C++, which is the very important topic in your 12th board. Today, we will see the new token called as the operator. Now, what is basically called as operator? Operator, we can simply say it is nothing but the symbol which is used to perform the arithmetic and logical operations. That symbol can be of any type. So we have certain types of the operator, which includes arithmetic, relational, logical, assignment operator, bitwise operator, increment and decrement operator, scope resolution operator, memory management operator, and insertion and extraction operator. Now we will see one by one in detail. So starting from the very first one, arithmetic operator. Arithmetic operators are basically used to perform arithmetic and logical operation, which includes the symbols for addition, that is for by plus sign, subtraction of the minus sign, multiplication, division, and the modulus. That modulo, modulus, mod, all three are the name for the same operator. Basically, this modulus operator always gives us the answer about the remainder after the division, because division symbol is basically used to represent the quotient after division part. So if I want to deal with the remainder part, then that time we use the modulo operator. For example, if the question asked कि you have to check कि whether number is even or odd. So for that purpose, but obvious, if I want to check 5 is even or odd, so we have to divide that 5 by 2. Correct? If I divide 5 by 2, I get the remainder as 1. Correct? So according to that remainder, we will simply print कि number is even or odd. Because whenever I divide any number by 2, either I can get value as a remainder in 1 or 0. So here I want to check the 1 and 0, or if I want to compare 1 and 0 with the remainder part. So to check the value with the remainder, always I use the symbol for the modulo. Similarly, first two symbols for that plus and the minus, that both operators can be used as the unary operators also. Now what do you mean by unary? Unary means when there is only a one operator and one operand is present. In simple language, if I put minus a, so it indicate that here I am defining the value of a as a negative value. So simply to give or to display any negative value, then that time I use the unary minus operator. Otherwise, all these 5 are the binary arithmetic operator. Binary means here we have to use 2 operands and 1 operator. For example, if I declare 2 variables, int a equals to 5 and b equals to 6. If I want to perform the addition operation, so to display or to store my result, here I define one variable as sum. Then sum equal to a plus b. So here I am using arithmetic additional operation. So a plus b, after adding that value of a plus b, that result is stored in the variable sum, and cout sum using the keyword cout, here I print the value of sum as 11. So these all are what my arithmetic operators. Then second one we have the relational operator. Now relational operators are basically used to put or to display the relation between two operands. So here they include with the less than, greater than, less than or equals to, greater than or equals to, double equals to, and not equals to. Now less than, less than, greater than, equals to, and greater than, equals to, that four are commonly used to compare the two values. For example, if I want to check value of A and B, okay, so if I want to display ki value of A is greater than B or B is greater than A, so that time I use the relational operator. Similarly, you can use relational operator equals to or not equals to compare the values of its left hand side and the right hand sides of its operands. In example, here I define the two variable A and B. A value as 10 and B value as 4. So just I compare these two values. So I put if A equal to B. Here double equals to indicated that the value of the left hand side and the right hand side of operands are same or not. Okay, so double equals to basically comparing the values of two variables. So if A equal to B, just I put ki A is equals to B. Otherwise, I will print A and B are not equal. Now, third operator is logical operator. Now, logical operator includes logical and, or, and the logical not. Okay, so now logical and is basically used to compare. Not exactly the compare, I just whenever I want to check two values of its left hand and the right hand side, if both the conditions are giving me the true value, that means final result is again a true value. That is the basic use of and. Correct hai? So logical and operators always returns the true when both the conditions under consideration are satisfied. Otherwise, it will return me the false value. For example, if I write A and B, it returns true when both A and B are true. Otherwise, it will returns me the false. See the example in the table. Here in the first condition I put x less than 5 and one more condition is there, x less than 10. Now consider in upwards anywhere if I declare value of x as the 4. Value of x is the 4. So if the value of x is the 4, so if I compare or if I check that both the conditions, so that both the conditions are true. That's why final result is also a true. Next one is the logical OR. Now logical OR returns true even if one of the conditions under consideration is satisfied. Okay, so in the logical AND, it's compulsory is what? Both the conditions should be true. But in the logical OR, any of the condition is true, it will return me the true answer. Okay, so same in the table with the example, if I write x less than 5 or x less than 4. Now consider in upwards if I declare value of x as the 6. Value of x as the agar 6. Now for both the conditions, my answer is false. So but obvious it will return final result is also false. Now third one for the logical NOT. Logical NOT is simply a negation of the final result. Okay, that means it returns true the condition is consideration is not satisfied. Otherwise it return false. For example, if I write not A, here is the not symbol for the simply exclamatory. So if I put not A, it will returns true if A is false, that is when A equal to 0. Any non-zero value treat as the 1. Okay, treat as the true. Any non-zero value, treat as the true. Now, again see in the table, here I put not in bracket x less than 5 and x less than 10. Here I am considering the value of x as the 4. So here 4 is less than 5, correct? And again 4 is less than 10. That means final result is true. But here before that true, here I make the symbol for not. So not of true is what my false. So at the end final result is false. Basically, these three logical operators always gives me the answer either in the true or false, 1 and the 0 format. Now, next operator is assignment operator. Name itself says that assignment means just here you have to assign the value. Always you have to be consider कि right hand side of the value of that equals to sign, always assign that value to the left hand side of the particular variable. In simple language, always right to left value assign hoga. So for the assignment, here I am using the simple equal to sign. Before this, we learned about that equals to symbol for with the relational operator. When I am talking about the equals to, that means there we have to use the double equals to symbol. But if I want to assign the value for the variable, always I have to use single equal to. So in the very first example, if I write x equals to 5, the meaning is what? 5 value is assigned to variable x. Now there are so many operators with related to assignment called as the shorthand assignment operator. Now shorthand means what? From the table with the second row, if I write plus equals to, for example, if I write x plus equals to 3, the meaning is what? X plus equals to 3 means x equal to x plus 3. That means previous value of x added with the value of 3, and again that final result we have to assign to variable x. So that's why if I don't want to use that x 2 times, so I can use that shorthand assignment operator. Okay, so either you can use shorthand assignment operator for plus, minus, multiply, division, modulo, then bitwise AND or XOR, left shift and the right shift. Clear? Now, the next operator are the bitwise operators. That bitwise operator includes bitwise OR, AND, XOR and the complement. Now, for the bitwise operator, bitwise, that means always it will perform the operation on the single bit. That means whatever the value you entered, first of all that values are converted into binary or bitwise format. From the example, if I want to or assume that value of A as 60 and value of B as the 13. So first of all, we will convert that 60 and 13 into respective binary format. Now if I want to perform bitwise AND. So for the bitwise AND, first of all, we have to learn about the truth table. So if the value of P and the Q, if both are 0, for the AND, if both are 0, then value of result is again a 0. So in the bitwise AND table, if both the values are 1, then only 1, otherwise it will always print the value as 0. For bitwise OR, when both the values are 0, then only it will be a 0, otherwise 1. And for the bitwise XOR, in the XOR, when both the inputs are same, then output is also 0. When both the inputs are different, output is 1. Okay. Now, according to example, A and the B, A has value 60 and B has values 13. Now, if I want to perform A and B, so in the AND, when both the values are 1, then only 1. otherwise 0. So it will perform bitwise operation with the single bit from right to left. So after performing that bitwise AND, my answer is 0 0 0 0 1 1 0 0. Similarly, you have to perform bitwise OR and the XOR. Now for the complement. For the complement, at a time I can take only one input. So if I write complement A, so initially value of A is 0 0 1 1 1 1 0 0. Here just we have to replace all zeros by 1 and 1 by 0. That is the operation for my complement. Now next operator is the increment and the decrement operator. Now increment and decrement means what? If I use any increment operator, it will increase the value of that particular variable by 1, and decrement is just to decrement or decrease the value of decrease the value by 1. Now consider the example. If I write A equal to 5, if I put plus A, the double plus matlab it will always increment value by 1. So now A value becomes 6. If I again write A plus plus, again value of A become 7 because added with the 1. If I write minus A, but obvious you have to decrement value of A by 1. So now A is again become 6. One more time of the decrement, value of A become 5. That is a simple use of my increment and decrement operator. But if you observed here, you can get one idea or you can get one thing ki either I can use plus A or A plus plus. That means either I can use that increment operator before the operand or after the operand. Okay, if I'm using only with the operand, there will be the no matter in my answer. But if I use that pre-increment or the post-increment with some assignment operator, so there will be some changes in the value of that assigned variable. Now see the one more example. If I initially decides the value of B as 3, value of B as 3. So now in the second line or in the second statement, if I put C equal to plus B, that means here I am using the pre-increment, because here I am using the plus operator before operand. So that's what is called as a pre-increment. Now if I use the pre-increment operator, that means first of all you have to increment value of that variable. So initially value of B is 3. Now it will increment the value of B by 1. Now value of B become 4. And afterwards we assign that value 4 to the variable C. That's why value of B and C both are same as 4. Okay. But now in the second statement, if I write D equals to B plus plus, here I am using that operator after operand. So it is called as the post increment operator. Now post increment means what? Post. Afterwards you have to increment. That means here first of all you have to assign the value of B, current value of B, to variable D, and then you have to increment the value of B. For example, यहाँ पे अगर मैंने लिखा है D equal to B plus plus, so current value of B is what? 4 from your previous statement. So current value of B is 4. That means now value of D is also become 4. And afterwards we will increment the value of B. So now value of B become 5. Clear? So if I use any pre or post increment operator with certain assignment or with certain calculation, we have to keep in mind कि either I can use pre or post. If I am using pre, that means first of all it will increment the value by itself, increment the value 1 by itself, and then it will assign that value to the certain variable, or that values can be used in the operation. But the case is with the post increment or with the post decrement, it will first assign or it will first use that value in the operation and then itself increment or the decrement. Okay. Now, next operator is the scope resolution operator. The symbol is simply a 4 dots. Basically, it is used to access the global value rather than the local value. Now, what is the meaning of local and global value? In simple language, we can explain कि the value which is declared inside the curly braces, that values are called as local value, and the values which are declared outside the curly braces called as the global value. Now, see the example. Here, in the very first statement, we declare int x equals to 5 and afterwards we started with the void main or the int main. So, for that int main block, again if I use the same variable x but define with the certain different value. So, the value which I declare inside this block, that value called as the local value, and the value which is declared outside the block, that value called as the global value. Now consider if I want to display value of x as the 5. But in the block if I write cout x, only cout x. But obvious it will access the value which is nearer to that variable or nearer to that particular block. So value of x is nothing but what my? It will always print the local value of x as the 5. So if I want to use or if I want to display the value of x as the 5, which is what my global value, that time you have to use the symbol scope resolution and x. So it will always ignore its nearest, or you can say it will always ignores its local value and only access the global value. So basically scope resolution operator is used to access the global value rather than the local value, because the same variable name can be used to have different meaning in different blocks. So individually, if I want to use any variable in anywhere in my program, I will use the operator called as scope resolution operator. Now next operators are memory management operator. Basically we have the two types of memory management operator, new and delete. New operator is used to create object of any type, or we can say new operator is used to access or it is used to allocate the memory dynamically. Now dynamically means what? For example, if I say int a, so we know that integer by default takes 2 bytes in memory. But consider the situation, if I want to declare or if I want to use any integer variable with some 20 or 3 bytes or 50 bytes of memory, which is not internally, or I can say which is not inbuilt possible. So that time you have to access or you have to initiate that memory by your own. So for that time we use the concept of new memory management operator. So using that operator, we will allocate the memory dynamically, whichever or however we want. Okay, so it is nothing but to obtain the memory block from operating system and returns a pointer to its starting point. If I said if I want to access the 20 bytes of memory, I can simply write int star a equal to new int in square bracket 20. That means here the new operator allocates the sufficient memory to hold the object of data type int and returns a pointer to its starting point. Clear? That means using pointer only. Correct hai? Because normal variables are used to hold the values. Here I don't want to hold the value. First of all, I want to access or I want to allocate the memory location, or I can say the memory address. So memory address are always held by the pointer. So to use or to access the memory, always we have to consider a concept called as pointer. Okay, so in the summarization I can say कि new operator is used to access or it is used to allocate the memory dynamically. Now that memory is allocated by us, allocated by the programmer. So but obvious, after working on it, we have to release that memory, we have to delete that memory, correct hai? So to release that memory, to free out that particular memory space, we used one more operator called as delete operator. So delete operator is basically used to deallocate the memory which is allocated by new operator. So it will basically back to the memory pool, release that memory which can be reused by the other parts of program. So in the syntax, just we have to write delete and the pointer name which you used to allocate the memory with the help of new operator. Now next operators are insertion and extraction operator. Basically here we use the symbol for insertion and extraction for the cout and cin wala symbol. Okay, but here that insertion operator is also called as put to operator and extraction operators are also called as get from operator. Why it is called like this? See in the third point, if I write cout A, cout A. So here cout A will print the value of variable A on screen, or I can say it will put that value on the screen. Correct hai? That's what is called as a put to operator. Put to where? Put to on screen. And the example from the extraction operator, that is what? C in A. So C in A will always takes, or I can say extract the value from keyboard and assign it to a variable on its right. That means whatever the value we are getting or taking from the keyboard, that value here we assign to variable A. That's why get from keyboard. Clear? Okay. So these two are what? My insertion and extraction operator. So here we end with the all the types of operators in C++. Thank you.